It's been, I don't know where everyone else is, but in Canada, it's a bit crazy, especially
Yeah.
in Ontario, because 2 days ago it was snowing and minus whatever, and now it's plus 14 and sunny.
Get your bikinis out.
Yes.
So welcome to the show. This is called The Wellness Movement. I am Julie with Balanced Life with Julie, and my co-host.
I am Kaz with Key Health and Wellness in Whitby.
Yeah. You can watch this live on ZINGOTV channel 251. And remember to download the Barn Burner and ZINGOTV app in the respective app stores on your devices. And then while you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. Both apps are free. So ZINGOTV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire and Fire Sticks, Roku and Roku Sticks, also on all smart TVs from 2016 forward. Okay, that sucked just a little less than last week.
It did. I'm still considering getting a new co-host, but it was better than last week.
Oh, damn.
That's okay. We'll give you one more shot next week.
All right.
But ironically, today's topic is all about perfectionism. So good thing you're not a perfectionist.
I'm not.
You'd be hanging by the cord of your
less
thing.
than perfect at everything. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Me too. Clearly by my hair today. I was like, I'll just let you do whatever you want. Well, I appreciate that. My hair has this natural curl, and so I usually straighten it. This morning I'm like, do what you want, girl. And it went, okay. And this is kind of it, but I don't mind it. And in an hour or so when I have clients, it will be up in some sort of bun looking contraption. So it won't make a difference.
Yeah. So the viewers probably don't know what we do. So I'm a health coach and nutritionist. And
how dare they not know?
Magic Hands Murfield is a and a Reiki master.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I am.
So we wanted to talk about perfectionism today, and I think it is a good time to talk about perfectionism because a lot of us are probably stuck at home more, and we're probably on our devices more, which means we're on social media more.
Mm-hmm.
Which means we're probably looking at a lot of images.
Absolutely. Perfect images. Strangely perfect images.
Yes. Photoshopped images.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, images.
I guess the one good thing about right now, it being COVID times, is we're not seeing as many pictures of people supposedly traveling all over the world for, whatever lifestyle that they lead, because it's kind of impossible to do that. So that's one good thing. Now, I don't really go on social media that much. I post mainly for business, but I don't like to scroll, mainly because a few years ago, I had an awful condition of body dysmorphic disorder, which was triggered largely by social media. So now I know my limits, I know my triggers. So I tend not to be on social media that much, but I am privy to some questionable posts and images that make me go, wow, like how are we raising children in a society that is fictional, really? Like it's based on images and lifestyles that just really are unattainable.
It's kind of like smoke and mirrors. And so there's a quote that came to mind when we were talking about today's topic, which is comparison is the thief of joy. So whenever we compare ourselves to anyone else, it is a really good way to feel pretty crappy about ourselves. And there's kind of two ways to look at it. So in terms of, you can, like, I work out a lot, like 5 or 6 days a week. And so I can look at someone, like there's an Instagram account I follow. She's got like 1 million followers. And I feel pretty good about what I'm able to do physically. And then I go on her account and she's just doing crazy stuff but I'm like, hashtag goals is what I see when I see her account. Now I can do one of two things. When I look at her videos, I can feel bad about the fact that my body's not able to do that. Or I can use it to inspire me and go, okay, like, I wonder if I practice doing that, like how long would it take for me to get there? Would I be able to build the strength, the flexibility, the agility? Because a lot of her stuff is body movement stuff. And so I don't feel bad about myself, but someone else can look at that, her profile, and maybe feel like really bad about themselves because they're not able to do that. And then instead of like being motivated to get up off the couch, they like get up, sit back down on the couch with a huge bag of potato chips or something. We lost Kaz for a second because I think someone's calling you.
Yes, I don't know what to press. Just bear with me. I don't want to press something and then I'll disconnect. So it should be over in a second. Do-do-do. Talk amongst yourselves.
So, what you were saying about like knowing what your limits are, I think is really key. So, and especially like, I highly recommend, if you have not watched it yet, go to Netflix, watch The Social Dilemma. And it really talks about social media and how the different apps work in terms of trying to hook people. So the focus on every single social media app is to try to get you to engage and to stay on the app longer. This is not conducive for living in this reality and living your life. And especially if you find that you're being emotionally impacted or and mentally impacted by the images that you're taking in, then it's really important to kind of do a little step back and create some boundaries.
Most definitely. I think in terms of, so following someone like you were just saying, who is like a fitness guru or anything along those lines, the key really is to know your own goals and what it is that you're looking to achieve, because every body is different, right? So as a massage therapist, I see all ranges of different bodies, and so there aren't floorless bodies out there. We come in all shapes and sizes, and we have all kinds of different little imperfections which make us who we are. So I have 2 children, and I have stretch marks and loose skin from growing human beings inside me. And when I was at my lowest, it was those things that were killing me, quite frankly. They were, because I wanted that perfect flat stomach without any sort of marks or blemishes. And I had to really come to terms with the fact that that's never going to happen. I mean, I potentially, I guess, could seek out some sort of plastic surgery, but I don't know that there would be any. So instead, I had to learn how to embrace what I have and kind of turn my thinking from, oh, I'm disgusting, no one's going to want me, look at me now, to I grew humans inside me at a small cost, which is now I have these really cool, I call them like my lightning stripes because that's what they look like. And then I'm now at the point where I can like jiggle my belly or like look at it. For a long time, I couldn't even look in mirrors. Like it was very, very hard. So definitely the comparison is, it's unfair to ourselves because we are completely unique on a completely unique path. And so our makeup is just going to be very different. It just is. So my sister and I are quite different. She has, I don't want to say struggled with her weight because I think she's beautiful. She has this amazing hourglass figure, yet she despises it. And yet I think it's fantastic. Like it's just so perfect. She has great hips. She has a nice bum. She has a really flat stomach, and hardly any blemishes or stretch marks. But then she's like, oh, I wish I was your size. It must be so nice to be like whatever. And I'm like, what? Huh? Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. I'm like, I don't know.
Well,
So
I think like a really good exercise, like to do. Um, there's this thing in coaching, we call it mirror work, and you would like face yourself in the mirror naked and just like look at yourself, and rather than judging, because that's what we're doing when we say we don't like some aspect of ourselves, we're judging it. Come into like a place of acceptance. Or another really great exercise is to start listing off the things in your body that you do like, that you do appreciate, and start to build that appreciation list. And I do find that with anyone, it's like if you're pushing away who you are and what you are, it actually creates such a dissonance and such unease that even if your goal is to say release a few pounds, then because you're creating all of this underlying stress and anxiety and judgment, your body won't go there. Right. So, and I also think that it's like you're saying, everybody comes, like everyone is different. Everyone is kind of created differently. We're all meant to be different shapes and sizes and colors. And so it's just accepting who you are. Unfortunately, like one of the big downsides with social media is that, especially with something, say like Instagram or even TikTok, is like, because they're such visual platforms. I noticed even in myself, like when Instagram really started to get super popular, I didn't want to be on that platform because I was not in a great place myself emotionally at the time. And so I didn't want to post pictures of myself. I didn't want to be looking at pictures because it just made me feel worse about where I was at that point. So this would have been like, five-ish years ago. And so this is kind of the I think especially for young people, the thing that's super challenging is that they're not thinking about it critically like you and I are. They're just exposed to it. And they don't understand that a lot of images, like I was looking at someone's stories this morning, and like she's got a filter on herself for the whole, like I think it were 4 or 5 stories. She has a filter. She looks amazing, but she has a filter. And so it's like, if you're not really looking at it and going, okay, well, this person has a filter and this person has done this and done some pretty fancy stuff with editing, and you're just looking at the image and going, oh, well, I feel like crap because I got a belly and I got stretch marks. Like, heads up, I have stretch marks and I did not have 2 humans come out of my body. I just have to accept I hit a growth spurt. I had some stretch marks. That's what happened. There's no surgery to fix it, nor do I want to spend the money on it. It does not matter. So, the people who love me despite my stretch marks.
Exactly. It's very true. I mean, perfectionism in itself is like a mental health disorder because it's unobtainable, because the moment, you can set goals, which are fantastic, but if you're to the point that it's never good enough and there's always something better that you're striving for, and you are really critical of yourself, if you're not doing every little detail, then that's a problem. That's a mental health issue. And before we got onto our call today, we were talking about the fact that, like, as a mom, there's a lot of really great support out there and help, but there's also a ton of very judging and harsh groups, or, I guess people in general that are, I wake up in the morning and everything's perfect, and my children wake up and we have a wonderful day, and then we do this and we eat everything healthy and organic that we've grown ourselves. Yeah. You know what happened to me this morning? Both my children were like, they didn't want to get out of bed. And I'm like, have a nice day, kids. Like, that was it.
I'm leaving.
Yes, exactly. Some days I come home, I'm like, what did you eat today? and it was a bag of chips. Like, I don't know. I'm like, this is parenting in real life. And it can be very, I was probably one of the first to have kids in our group. They had either already had children or weren't ready to have children. So I was like the standalone. And so I didn't really have others to discuss things with. And the whole make your own baby food was just starting to come into things, but I didn't do that. And I didn't get to breastfeed because neither of my children really wanted to, but I did pump for a little while, but not enough for it to sustain. And so then there's the judgment of, oh, you bottle fed them. Oh, you didn't use your natural breast milk. Like, no, I didn't, because that just didn't work out for us. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have fed my children something than gone through the stress that was happening of trying to be that perfect mom. It just didn't work out. And so I think we have to be very careful on how we're wording things or talking about things, because it does come across quite judgmental. I think having, tips and tricks and stuff is great. And then us as also have to be accountable for how we're taking things too. Yeah. Because we can't just look at something and say, oh, that's judgy, get rid of it. Like if we're not in the right mind frame, like you were saying, when you didn't want to go on social media, you understood this is a me thing. It's something I have to work on, and I'm going through something, and social media is not going to help me. Mm-hmm. So when we're looking at posts, if they're not making us feel good, it's asking us why. Why don't I feel good about this? Does it reflect on me? Am I feeling bad about myself? Is this something that I can change? If not, then we don't follow those people anymore, or we take a break from social media. But I do feel we can be very, very critical of ourselves simply because we're assuming that everybody else is living this perfect life, and that everybody is wanting to see this perfect being with flawless skin and, flatness everywhere, which isn't the case.
Here's the secret to life. No one has it figured out. We are all just bubbling along, trying our best, mm-hmm. figuring it out as we go, falling on our face sometimes, and then getting up and starting again. And I think what you were saying about like really taking note of like how things are making you feel, and then distancing yourself from that. So, if being on social media and looking at perfect images of others and whatever life that, you have to also remember that in social media, like a lot of people, what they're doing is they're sharing, but they're telling a story. And that story is not necessarily 100% accurate. It's mm-hmm. a way that they want to, and that was one of the things that really occurred to me when Instagram really took off, is that you can portray yourself however you wish in images and now like video and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. You can take like the best snippets of your life. It's what is called your highlight reel, and put that out for everybody to see. They don't see the other stuff. And so if you're the person who's viewing it, you are seeing someone's highlight reel. And when you're witnessing that, you don't see all the underbelly, all the not good stuff, the things that are going on in the background. And so I think like take everything with a grain of salt. And mm-hmm. then, like if there are accounts that are making you feel not good about yourself and making you feel like, that trying to obtain something impossible, then I would say the best thing to do would be to unfollow those accounts. Look for mm-hmm. things that inspire you and motivate you and make you want to, get going with whatever you want to create in your life. But if things are not making you feel good, then just let it go. Like, we don't need to follow everybody. We don't need to pay attention to everything. Like, I try really hard to just follow accounts where it's people that inspire me, or it's people that I know in real life, right? That's generally
exactly
the thing. It's like I have certain people that I follow. Actually, I've also seen some accounts on Instagram where they've got like X number of 300,000 followers. They follow no one. They are living in a vacuum.
This is true.
But that's fine. But anyway, that's my 2 cents about it, because obviously, you know, we're all on this journey, and it's so unique and individual. And if you can just kind of enjoy the journey and enjoy the body that you've been blessed with, and make the best of it.
Or the life as well.
Yes.
And if there are aspects of it that are not conducive to where you want to be or who you want to be, acknowledgement and then setting realistic plans and goals is probably your best bet, rather than scrolling endlessly, or, you know, maybe taking unrealistic advice from people who are maybe fabricating things just a little. Because it is important that we set goals, and that we, you know, are looking to potentially better ourselves, or to do a little more with ourselves, as long as it's realistic and we're enjoying it along the way. I think the secret to life is to experience life and to discover what makes us happy, and then enjoy the moment.
Happiness is really, truly an inside job. And it's funny because like we're so used to looking out into the world and inputting, and we think like, oh, that's why social media is such a thing, right? Or even Netflix is such a thing, is that we like kind of looking outwards and going, oh, I should be doing that, or maybe I should do that, or maybe I should do. But honestly, the real answers of who you want to be and what you want to create for yourself are from going inwards and taking that time to, you know, journal, explore, meditate, and then allowing those pieces of wisdom to come up, and then following your path versus what everyone else is doing.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So to sum it all up, perfectionism is a lost cause. Just live your life. Be happy.
Do you.
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess we want to thank everyone for joining us today.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in. Oh, have you lost me again?
Someone is calling you. You're super
I know. I'm so popular. Really, I'm not. But I just want to say that this show can also be heard on the Barn Burner Network, Inc. on its 122 platforms. The H.E.R network is part of the Barn Burner Media Network, and you can check them out at barnburner.ca for all the news and programming. Barn Burner, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, live it. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. See you guys next week.